on Justin House TrueHouse 367, episode 367 tonight on the 4th of June, year of our Lord 2021. Just be watching Neil deGrasse Tyson talking to Joe Rowe on Spotify. I confess I've got Spotify. Actually, here's an embarrassing confession that's going to make you laugh. Yeah, all good. Thank you, Lee. All good. Yeah, not bad at all. Let me just lower myself a little bit on the stool. Yeah, a bit of an embarrassing admission. When I left. Well, that's not true. When I first got an Android phone, I need to share this with you. This will make you laugh. It just shows how pathetic my knowledge was. Like most people, I started off, as we said last night, your first sort of foray into having a smartphone for most people that are above the age of 30, 35, when the advent of the iPhone first came round, I'm going to say, oh gosh, what did they drop the first iPhone? 2007. I'm going to say 2007. I could be out, but for the sake of my poor memory, if memory serves, about 2007 was the first gen iPhone. Was it 2006? Hang on, they dropped the 10 in 2017, and that was their decade. So yeah, 2007. Most people started off with an iPhone, and I heard various stories that Steve Jobs at the time got literally a dozen people in a hotel room. Rumours with ex-Apple employees on various documentaries I've watched have said stories such as there were between 12 and 20 engineers, so depending on who's retelling the story, depends on the level of embellishment. And legend has it that obviously Tim Cook was there. He's been there a long time, and obviously Steve Jobs was. When did Steve Jobs die? Was it 2012? Yeah, I don't know. No, when did he die? I don't know. Anyway, but Steve Jobs and the engineers that were employed at the time, they literally, because they were fighting against the BlackBerry and just fighting to kill keyboards, just trying to make an actual glass sandwich, a touch screen, essentially piece of glass, and to not leave the hotel room, or they booked in a suite with 12 to 20 employees that specialised in the creation of keyboards, from that user interface and how to touch. So the stories go. And they weren't allowed to leave the hotel room. Their jobs were on the line. And Steve Jobs was, he was no great coder himself. He wasn't a Steve Wozniak. He wasn't at their level at all. He was more of a businessman and a pusher, And he just said to them, you're not going to leave. And if you do leave, you're out. If you basically bottle it. And the legend has it that they literally survived on beer and Doritos, or just a very poor, very poor living conditions, but they were basically stuffed in a hotel, using a conference room, using a hotel suites, living like bachelors, and it was a team of essentially, what's the word? Anyway, the majority men, obviously I think there were a few girls there, but it was a strong male environment, which you'd expect. And they wouldn't stop until they basically created a thing, ready for public release. And I think this was really, the reason I'm mentioning it is because, yes, I'm half an hour late. I have been ironing this, which it's a bit crinkled at the moment, but I've managed to iron out the lines. The main thing is the main thing is the lines. Just got to share this. The lines are. Do you know what I mean? I've just been literally trying to. It's getting there. It's a bit. Yeah, I've got to pull it now. I've got to retape it and pull it. Yeah. Anyway, so it's better. I've got duct tape. I always use just duct tape, which is here somewhere. Anyway, so that's getting there. That's winning, right? But I'm trying to get. I'm trying to. I just want to share this. I just want to share this. I'm trying to evolve. Yeah, every day. I know it's impossible to. Well, it's not impossible, but evolve or improve or learn or acquire or alter or change or move on or do you know what I mean? Just I I'm also late because I went to Lidl, I lost track of the time. I'm a fan of Lidl or anywhere like that, where you can spend 20 quid and get a shitload of, basmati rice and tuna and oats and, it's just, yeah, those living essentials. I was very pleased with myself because I spent 24 quid and I've got certainly enough grub now to see me through for the next week. Yeah, I reckon I have. I've got enough physical grub to get me through for a week now. And at £24, I think that's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. And that includes loo roll, and I bought some ketchup, and some mustard, things I didn't need like that. So anyway, I was quite pleased with that. But I just thought about evolving. I just thought about, yeah, exactly, Lee. And on the one hand, it's a meme, isn't it? There seems to be a meme going strongly of improve, be better. I've seen people I know, people that worked with me at Fitness First, have entire media campaigns on those two words, be better. The first one that springs to mind is the national director of fitness, a chap called Sean Phillips that I lived with in Florida a few years back, and he was my boss at Fitness First. We're talking from 1992 now. So we're talking early days of Fitness First. I was only 2 years into my teaching career. I started in 1990, but I wasn't qualified till 92. In fact, probably even as late as Jan 93, I was probably in gyms as a dog's body, actually. Truth be told, a dog's body means, you do programming and you're hoovering treadmills at 10:30 at night and cleaning the toilets, because that's part of being on a gym team, in your little red t-shirt or whoever you're working for. And then you hope to get qualified and to be worthy of the company paying the 1,000 quid for that qualification. It could be a 6-month course or whatever. Anyway, and that was the case with me. And I ended up going American College of Sports Medicine, because it's a strong American qualification, and the YMCA as well. And I thought, this is how you're going to learn anatomy. But he has gone on to do other companies, and he's used that logo, Be Better. And there seems to be an entire industry, and it's quite meme-like, that, you must improve, must be better than yesterday, must be a better person than I was yesterday. And I don't think we're that exponentially adept. What I mean by this is that if you were to draw like a little graph and go, well, this is Lee and Justin on a Monday, and then by Tuesday we're going to be a bit better, and Wednesday a bit better, and Thursday a bit better, and I'm going to be better. And the reality is, and you know this, Lee, with weight loss, and if we're talking weight loss and or muscle gain, same direction, same quest. The evoking a change in one's body composition, i.e., fat deposition, accumulation of lean tissue, and I always likened it to just looking at a packet of chicken breasts or something. People would talk to me when I started and said things like, oh yeah, I've put on 20 pounds of muscle this year. And of course now with time and wisdom, you're like, no, you bloody haven't. No one puts on 20 pounds of muscle in a year. That means you're actually acquiring over a pound of lean tissue a month. No one does that, not on all the chemicals in the world. You can have all the chemicals and all the calories in the world. That ain't happening. And hey, gain weight for sure, gain weight. But anyway, so I likened it in the end to if this 300-gram chicken breast was on that shoulder, and that 300-gram chicken breast was on that shoulder, and this 300-gram chicken breast was on that tricep, and this one was on that bicep. Do you know what I mean? And you literally visualize. I remember having similar conversations with Doug, and like, can you visualize the chicken breast you're about to consume? You know, when you're grilling your chicken breast or whatever. You're like, imagine that being on your calf. Imagine that being on your upper chest. Imagine that being on your trap. You know, you just imagine these little bits of strip meat being stuck to your body, and that's the slow, tired acquisition of tissue. And I guess what I'm really trying to get to is like, oh, what have I done today? What have I learned today? And I gotta say, there's a guy, Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's a really prolific. Let me just reach for this. Sorry, I'm going to move the microphone, and I'm just going to show you on the OnePlus. It's on Spigen cases. What's it called? The Spotify. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say, Lee. I'm only relatively recently have I realised that you can have all your iTunes on an Android device. Duh. It's like the war between, oh, are you an iTunes person or a Spotify person? I'm like, I've got both. I've got an Apple One account, which costs me $9.95 a month, and that's my Apple TV and Apple Music, iTunes. And then I've got a Spotify account, right? So, okay, I'm paying, all told up, I'm paying £20. Yeah, well, £9.99 and £9.99. So yeah, I'm paying the best part of £20, like £19.98. But that's my videos, my music, everything. And I never realised you could actually run iTunes on Android, which of course you can. Just put the fucking app on, and you've got the library existing on your Apple device. And even if you haven't, like my brother left Apple altogether and basically downloaded it to I think at some stage you have to have an Apple device. I'm pretty sure my brother probably has a Mac of some sort, because I know he doesn't run an Apple smartphone device at all. He's gone Samsung, and I directed him onto the Note series. He's actually running the Note 10 Plus from last year. 2019, 2020, no, 2019 phone, yeah, 2020, anyway. So there's a lot of things that I've been quite naive about, and I was watching Neil deGrasse Tyson. Let me show you this. Let me share. Here we go. Joe Rogan, Neil deGrasse Tyson. Here we go. John Danaher. Here we go. So this was 26th of May. So what are we now? The 4th of June. So 9 days ago, right? Only way you get that illusion is if you get implants, but then it's not muscle, it's just fake. Yeah, I mean, I hear you. Actually, do you know what? You made me think of a memory now. The second year I was in Venice, as in Santa Monica, Los Angeles, Venice, I remember seeing just an average member walking in, well, limping across the gym floor, and his calves, both calves, had clearly been implanted. You could just tell because the development in the calf far outweighed the rest of his leg. You know, like the leg bicep, the hamstring. You know, and just his sort of quad sweep and stuff. It just looked disproportionate, but they were infected, Lee. And I actually got to know this guy. He was a German chap. He was a dentist. Was he called Bruce? I think he was called Bruce. Bruce, with a bit of a lisp. He's like, yeah, that's it. This guy used to say, "I'm good looking." Like that. He was a funny guy. Just remembering this chap now. But he had these awful calf implants, and they got infected. And they were bright red. They were like really, really red and infected, and he had to have them removed. The infection rate was quite high when you see chaps with various pec implants or calf implants. But you know, when my physique was at its best, it achieved the plastic look, and the plastic look was we use adjectives like plastic and leather as compliments if you said to a top bodybuilder, "Oh, you freak," you've got that plasticky, leather, grainy look, it's massive compliments. And I remember achieving a real plasticky look when I just had no body fat left on me, and I just looked skinned and dry but shiny, and just it's funny looking back at the photos now, but yeah, yeah. It's like you actually want to look like a cartoon, you actually want to look not normal, and that was the entire goal, to not resemble anatomically regular looking tissue, because regular looking tissue doesn't really go doing doing, does it? It's more sort of like, kind of, what I mean? I mean, it's exciting to have cartoon physique going on. Like, oh, you look like a superhero. Everything goes doing doing, which is really exciting while it lasts. But it's not normal. It's not natural, and it's not even how muscles are efficient. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and the other thing that I think the most objectionable area of fakeness is when you see guys online, very much online. And you can tell they're young men, you can tell they're 25, 28, they're young men in their prime. And they've overly, and this is rich coming from me because it's a practice that I used to do. It's a practice that I used to self-administer a lot, especially going up towards a show. Commonplace amongst competitive bodybuilders was to purposely proliferate a muscle with site local injections, and it's the constant puncturing of the skin which necessitates the growth of scar tissue, and that would also enhance a muscle. But you are talking intended deformation. You are talking about you're intending to make, especially really showy muscle groups like delts and biceps, delts and arms. Delts, arms and calves, because they top and tail a physique actually. Yeah, delts, arms and calves. And they're the show pieces, aren't they? Because it's top and tailing a body. And again, through lack of patience, nowadays we're seeing young chaps literally killing them. You know what I mean? Really going overboard. It's so mad. Anyone would do that with the implants. I get a woman who have breast implants. That's a good point, Lee. That's a good point. My mum's sister, Auntie Heather, had a double mastectomy. Sadly, I mean, breast cancer, and she beat it. And she got breast cancer a year after my mum got breast cancer, but my mum's came back and then it killed her. I mean, mum died 2 years ago, Christmas. Yeah, 2019, so in 2021. Yeah, so 2 years ago, Christmas, mum went. And when the breast cancer came back, it finished her off. And in the case of her sister, who'd also had it, both her boobs would, a mastectomy, they're both taken off. But she did have a plastic pair put on, and they looked really good. The plastic surgeon, doing breast augmentation, said to her, "Look, Heather, what size do you want to go to? Here are the saline chicken breasts. How many cc's do you want?" And she managed to beat because her breasts were riddled with tumors from the breast cancer. It was a nasty malignancy, and I think again, this is me probably getting my facts wrong. It's based on memory, but I've got a feeling she then had the implants taken out because ultimately the implants themselves got some tumors. I know they can't really, a tumor wouldn't metastasize in a synthetic sac, would it really? Or did she have? Anyway, I'm just trying to remember what happened, the timeline, but I'm pretty sure she had to have those ultimately taken out after about 8 years or so. But you're right, Lee. It is bonkers when blokes do it, and I think it's really stupid. I think it's really stupid. I'm going to put the fan on. Actually, it's really quite hot. I will finish what that Neil deGrasse Tyson said, and then I'll get the fan, and then let's continue this chat. Let's get you if you want to, Lee. Let's get you back on camera. Oh bugger. Yeah, you see, look, I'm quite happy to say, Rogan, he's copying me again. I told Doug this. So look, Rogan's copying me. Look, he's got wood, I've got wood. See? Joe's copying me. Not me copying Joe. No, Rogan's copying me. He's got real wood. I've got fake wood. But the good thing about his wood and my wood, and I'm not talking about penises, I'm talking about backgrounds. My background and Roger's background, it is uneven. It's as wood should be. Wood should not be like laminate flooring. It should be different colours and uneven and like that. There you go. So Rogan's copying me again. You're so unoriginal, Joe. Right, he's basically talking to Neil deGrasse Tyson. They've been talking about aliens, and let me share this with you. There it is. This is from 9 days ago.
Joe Rogan Podcast, check it out.
Yes,
Joe Rogan
yes.
Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan Podcast by night.
Come on,
All day.
come on. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Oh,
This episode is brought to you by Free Trade.
Go away.
Investing is a great way to grow wealth over the long
Listen
term.
to that voice.
But high commissions make it inaccessible for
Yeah,
many.
brilliant.
Free Trade,
Brilliant.
the award-winning app, doesn't charge shared.
I hate this bloke's voice. Free trade? Oh, blimey, Gov.
Get a free share worth
Get a free share worth free trade.
£200 when you register and fund your
See, if
free
I
trade.
paid a few more quid each month, I'd have ad free, wouldn't I?
That's freetrade.io/Joe
But
Rogan.
I'm not prepared.
When investing, your capital is at risk. Other charges may apply.
Actually, I might start paying a bit more. I fucking hate adverts. Because I think you can go up. Well, I don't know what it is. I have to check my Spotify account. Oh, God,
Joe
come on.
Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan Podcast by night.
I know. Right, here we go. Finally, right.
Having any access to any of the technology in these incremental forms.
Right.
It's possible you can have, like, black ops, as they say. There's, you look at the airplanes that can...
That's exactly what I wanted to find. I was basically going to say, talking about UFOs, talking about alien, talking about tech, right? I'm fascinated. I think I mentioned it last night or the night before last night about my sort of obsession with SR-71 Blackbird, the original stealth bomber, the B-2 stealth bomber, the F-117A Nighthawk, etc. About how since Lockheed Martin, the Skunk Works division since the 60s, the Cold War, brilliant, just black op planes have been made, fighter jets, and that is akin to alien technology. And what Neil deGrasse Tyson and Rogan are discussing is if you can keep a secret about US military warplanes, then they can keep a secret with UFOs. And it's just on the right bit. I'm going to turn that fan on because I'm going to overheat, and I'm going to share this, and then we'll have a chat, if that's cool. Where's my fan? Right, let me get the fan. Right, fan is on. What did I say I was going to do? I'm losing the plot. Blow your nose, Just. Blow your nose. Right. Oh, shit. Almost pulled the socket out of the wall. Bloody hell. It is funny when you do, well, it's the sort of thing I do really. Oh, I'm actually quite sweaty. When you plug the fan in and then with my idiot boat feet end up hooking my foot under the cable. I do love a glass of milk. Okay, right. Mustn't neglect the audio. Oh, let me just share this with you, and then we'll have a chat, Lou. Here we go.
Lockheed Martin during the Cold War.
He mentioned it, Lockheed Martin.
in here without anybody having any access to any of the technology in these incremental forms.
So it's possible you can have like, you know, black ops, as they say. This, you know, you look at the airplanes that came out of Lockheed Martin during the Cold War. These were all the secret, and they gave the
But
engineers.
kind of incremental.
Sure, but they looked really different, and they behaved very differently, and they had so yes, it was still incremental. But let's imagine, you know, a deep black ops where they're making their own incremental changes, but you don't get to see them. So that by the time it shows up, it looks like it's a big leap, even though they got there incrementally, and that was unreported. Sure.
Doesn't science rely on other scientists to coordinate with, like other scientists to review data and to
Yes.
share ideas?
And it also presumes that the government has the best scientists, and that's simply not the case.
Right.
Yes.
That's what I would always think. The best scientists are going to go to the private sector because
Yes,
there's
of
more
course.
money there.
Or academia, where you have freedom
Yeah.
of research.
Reconnect. I check my little black box. Normally comes back. Ah, and it's back. There you go. Super. Oh. Ah. Let me turn off. I think it's the old phone, you know. I could be getting superstitious. I think it's the old. Hold on. I think it's the old phone. Where's the old phone? Where's the old phone? Just a theory. It's a theory, Lee, but I've got here, and I've not got rid of it because I'm sort of attached to it. This is an old OnePlus 7T Pro, right? It's actually, I mean, the camera's not much cop these days because this was a 2019 phone. It's 2 years old, but it's this has got the old pop-up camera. So. See, the little pop-up camera, isn't it lovely? So, I mean, this is how they got it to be bezel-less. They just gave it a little beep pop, there you go, little pop-up camera. And they stopped doing this. They only ran it for a year, but this puppy here, there it goes. Look, yeah, it's such a cool little thing. I mean, oh God, I look so ugly. Smile. Terrible shot. Oh yeah, I look like shit. Which is not bad for. I mean, it's not okay. It's not as good as a Pixel. It's not as good as the new OnePlus, but it's actually a really. It's still a really decent phone, and it's nice and quick. It's just. I'm going to turn it off because I suspect it might be altering the signal or interfering with the signal. But what a lovely design! It's really curved, actually. I know curved phones are impractical, flat screens are more practical, but it's very nice in the hand. I'm still attached to it. It's got a little crack in the screen. I never replaced it. Hidden under a black background, but it's still. Yeah, it's still a. I wonder if I gave this to someone and said, spot the difference between that and a 2021 phone. I mean, probably the camera, but it's still a lovely, and I probably still owe 358 quid. Actually, I think I never paid my last bill, but it's not even on the network. It's not even. Let me shut it down. Power off. There you go. I'm shutting it down. It's a smashing little phone. Really. I mean, that's just a case, but it's. Let me just show Lee. It's got this lovely one. There you go. I've taken it out of the case. OnePlus made this beautiful blue color, and to this day, it's one of my favorite phones because I haven't got a scratch on it. It's a lovely. I don't know if it shows on camera really, but it's a beautiful blue, and it doesn't smudge. It's just a really attractive phone. But it's the only phone I dropped. And there is a in the top there. Look, you see, and it's 120 quid for a new screen from OnePlus. But and I know the camera was good in 2019, and it's just not as sharp as a Pixel 5 or the OnePlus. I mean, look, there's the new OnePlus, the OnePlus 9 Pro there. So yeah, this was the 7T Pro, and this is the 9 Pro. But they gave it this lovely pop-up camera, and it's got the case, but. Yeah, I've got a real funny attachment to this thing. It's a lovely and bezel-less because of the pop-up camera. My only complaint is the chin. The chin is still very narrow, but it's not as narrow as my new OnePlus or the S21 Ultra or like the Pixel 5, just uniform, because we're now so close to having no chin, like fucking bezels be gone. That's my dream. My dream is to have phones achieve fuck all bezels. I don't mind the perimeter bezel, but Pixel 5 have done well. But we're so close. We're a year away now. I think we're a year away from all of them. Google, Sammy, Huawei, Apple, OnePlus, all releasing phones that are just like, check out our zero border, uniform bezel. Because it's under screen cameras are coming out, so I know Samsung are dropping it first in November. Anyway, right. So just to recap, the fascination with we said earlier about being better. It's lovely, isn't it? It's a lovely finish. It is, yeah. And it's just been updated to Android 11. Bear in mind it's a 2019 phone. So OnePlus is still giving it updates. It's still got another year of updates. I'm pretty sure I owe 3, and they're a terrible company. In my experience, I'm not a fan of 3 at all. Really not a fan. I found them to be very rude. Like if you miss paying your bill by like half a day, they're on to you with automatic, quite aggressive emails saying, services will be cut off if you don't pay your bill. You're like, fucking hell, it was due yesterday. It's due on Monday. I've paid it on Tuesday. Leave me, quicken here. I'd understand if you've not paid your bill and it's like 2 weeks ago with your bill and you've not even acknowledged it. But I would get alerts from 3 about my £58 bill or £40 bill the day after it was due. And I was like, whoa, all right, okay, my bad, sorry. And they were massively rude on the phone, whereas I found great with EE and Voda. Anyway, so yeah, OnePlus 7T Pro, a really good phone in 2019. In fact, this was given Phone of the Year. Yay! This was given Phone of the Year, Potty, Phone of the Year, by MKBHD. So Marques Brownlee with his 12 million followers. MKBHD himself in 2019 voted the OnePlus 7T Pro as the phone of the year. Yeah, there you go. Even more so than the iPhone and whatever else. What would it have been against in 2019? Oh, the Pixel 4 XL. Yes. October, Pixel 4 XL. They gave the awards out in December 2019, then 20. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Because this thing came out in the March or the May. That's it, May 2019, and then by November 2019 it was Phone of the Year. So it's still a lovely. If I could, what I have done to this, I've given it Gcam. I've given it the Google camera, so I don't use OnePlus's software for the camera. You can, from XDA developers, and I don't know you know this, Lee, but you can download. An actual Google Cam, so at least you get, when you do touch the camera, like night mode's brilliant, better than OnePlus's night mode, and just you get that lovely Google camera feeling and all the settings. So yeah, that's nice that you could at least put the Gcam in software on it, but yeah, I've got a. I'm even prepared with this particular phone to probably pay. I think I could get it for 100 quid. I know it's 100 quid, but it's such a nice phone to hold. It's such a lovely pebble in the hand. So it feels like a Huawei actually. It's very pebble-like. And I did open a repair with, because it's out of warranty now because it's more than 2 years old, with OnePlus UK, and I sent the phone in a jiffy bag and they will put a new screen on it. Snapdragon 865 chip in it. Really good phone, just falling behind now. Like this would lose compared to the Pixel 5 camera, and it would lose compared to the OnePlus 9 Pro camera. Yeah, I mean, look, lenses have gotten bigger. I mean, you can see the damn thing. The actual lenses are physically bigger. Right, so going back to the airplane technology, let's just another 2 seconds on this, and then I'm going to ask you to come on camera, Lee, if you want to, if you can. I'm going to stop yapping.
Sorry, but you're forced to work on projects that might not be the most creative investment of your own energies. All right, you hire a physicist, make a bomb at the end of this.
So it would take something pretty monumental for you to shift your belief to this is probably.
It's not belief.
the
Show me an
most-
alien. Give me something that.
I'm not of the belief that these things are populated.
Okay. So,
They may be, and maybe it's happened before. But when I'm hearing about these things flying around and I'm seeing what we're doing on Mars, I'm like, yeah, it's a better version of that.
you know what is a much better story to me is the Transformers, the origin story of the Transformers.
They're cars and then they become real.
Sounds silly, but it may pay you to keep it with a unique camera. I agree, brother, because actually, Lee, you make a very good point. Here's the thing about the OnePlus 7T Pro. As you can, I mean, look, the name is the giveaway. I mean, what a mouthful. The company is called OnePlus, and this is their 7T Pro. They launched. This is how ridiculous OnePlus played it into. I mean, look, every company has done this, right? Seriously. Oh fuck it, we're going to go there, right? Every company has done this. I'm going to yap this bollocks out, Lee, which will make you roll your eyes, but I want to share with you because I know you all get this. I remember Apple releasing the very colourful iPhone 5C, and they had these really colourful plastic backs. I remember going to Bluewater, the shopping centre, Bluewater, to the actual Apple store. This would have been, 2009? Hang on. No, later. Anyway, because the first iPhone was 2007, so, whatever, 2011, doesn't matter. But Apple fucked up. Successful phones, most iconic phones, the iPhone 4, the iPhone 5, it's no coincidence that the new iPhone 12 Pro Max is identical form factor to the iPhone 4 and 5. That was voted for by iPhone users, for God's sake. They wanted the square factor back, which is what it is. From that wafer square-like iPhone 4 5, but they cocked up with the 5C, all silly pretty colours and very girlified. Then we had iPhone Bendgate, the iPhone 6 bent. I remember going to Dougie at the gym after sitting on mine at Bluewater Cinema and snapping it clean in two. And it wasn't even an iPhone 6 Plus, that was the iPhone 6 standard. And then I got the Plus and I bent that as well because it was just aluminium. It was shit aluminium, too thin. So I broke two, a 6 and a 6 Plus from having it in my pocket. Yeah. I never keep phones in my pockets now. I've always got them in a man bag. iPhone 7 was the black one, which was very nice. And then the 8, to be fair, the iPhone 8 chassis and body became the iPhone 10 anyway, because there was no iPhone 9. Moving on, OnePlus had done a similar thing with their naming, and they get carried away. I had the OnePlus 5, the 5T, then the 6T, and then of course they launched their first 5G phone, the OnePlus 7 Pro. And then they brought out a 7T, then they brought out a 7T Pro. So you go OnePlus 7 standard, OnePlus 7 Pro, then a little gap of a few months, then a OnePlus 7T, and then the all singing, all dancing OnePlus 7T Pro. Additions being little extra fucking time of flight thing there, the TOF, there's the flash, there's the time of flight. This was universally praised at launch as being the best OnePlus ever made. And as you say, Lee, because whatever happened in 2019 with pop-up cameras, it was OnePlus, and I think shit, there was one other company that did pop-up cameras, and it's a 16 megapixel. It's a unique camera, and the front-facing camera, because it's a dedicated unit, it's an entire unit rather than just a little lens. It's actually a decent camera. So the funny thing is, I would go so far as to say the front-facing camera, being a whole unit, is superior to the front-facing camera on my 9 Pro. Obviously the 9 Pro's rear cameras have moved on from this, but it's the front-facing camera, which we do for selfies and we do for vlogging, is actually really good. So you make a good point, Lee. It's probably worth hanging on to this. And I'm not alone in that, because I watched a video on YouTube yesterday of a guy saying that he'd given this to OnePlus users as their favourite phone. And the specificity of the 7 Pro and the 7T Pro as OnePlus fanboys' favourite OnePlus phone, because it was the only one with a full screen, with no cutout, with no notch, with no punch out holes. You know, I mean, I could just turn it on and show you the screen actually. Here we go. That's running okay. So I'm gonna just turn it back on. I'm come payday, I'm thinking maybe just finally get the screen repaired, because it's immaculate. I mean, it's the one phone I dropped on the kitchen tiled floor, which I've now put a rug on so it would never happen again. I've never dropped a phone again. Let me just show you how the full screen looks. It's actually rather nice, with no notch, no punch out hole, nothing. Right, all the zeros, obviously. So look, you've got a nice basic screen there, okay, and if I can show you a white screen, what have I got that's white? Everything's in dark mode. Oh golly, what can I show you let me show you a white screen. What have I got that's white? No, that's dark mode. I mean, look, even if you see my podcasts, you know, you can see it's a notch. Look, it's a nice, you know, that's just my podcast, but it's a lovely screen. It's got no interference. You know, you've got to, hang on. Oh, what about, no, I'm just trying to find a white screen. What's a white screen? Emails? No, emails is dark mode. There must be a white screen somewhere. Hang on. The OnePlus community. No, that's a black. It's so weird because everything's in dark mode these days, isn't it? So, come on. Dictionary. Yes. Right. Okay. Fine. Look. It's nearly white. Anyway. Look. So you can see as screens go. It's rather lovely, look, to have nothing here. You know, this is a 2-year-old phone. This was launched May 2019. So, I mean, I just want to show you a whole white screen. Oh my God. What about Pinterest? No, even Pinterest. Fucking hell. Email, Gmail. No. Notes, no. Fuck me. What about 3? The actual web. Ah, look. Oh no, it's no good. Fucking hell. I must have a white screen to show. Oh, I haven't. Look, I haven't. I don't even have a white screen to demonstrate the beauty of the screen. No. Jesus. Signal. Right. Okay. That's the best thing I can do. That's the best thing I can do. Right. Look at that. Is that not a great screen? As phones go, right? You know what I mean? Now, if I'm being really critical, that bottom chin there is a bit too thick for my tastes. Okay, look, I'm being really critical. I mean, I'm being an arsehole, in fact. Do you have a word processor on there? A word processor. What, like, you mean text? Oh, I see. Word processor. Huh. Let me search. Word processor. Oh, like Microsoft Office, you mean? Yeah, I've got that. Excel, Microsoft Word, that sort of thing. Have I got that? Huh. Obviously not one I use. How strange. It's just ridiculous to think that I've not got. I use the one that does the live transcribe, that like where you can speak to it and it just takes you words. I do use that. I think I do. Well, probably not on this phone. So look, just on G. Yeah. Let's get you in. Yeah. What am I doing? Fucking not even getting you in. Go live with Lee. Yeah. What a knob. Oh, I've been neglecting the old what do you call it? The old talky bit. Hello. Good evening. Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm okay, buddy. How are you?
Yeah, doing really well. Bit of a long day today.
Really?
My new headphones as well with this. It's come through very clear.
Oh no! What are they? They look nice, man.
They're just some cheaper ones I found on Amazon, but they're really, really good. I'll have to send you the link to them.
Yeah, do. I love headphones. I do. Yeah. They look
Just love
comfy.
anything tech that connects to the phone.
Yeah. Well, this is it actually. Because I've got a pair of like real headphones, you know, like the over ear ones, but they just hurt my ears, man. After about half an hour, it feels like someone's doing that on my head. You know, I much prefer
I'll
like
take
that.
a bit of getting used to.
Yes, this is true. Did you see those Apple ones they made, which are really expensive? Apple bought out some headphones a few months ago, and they're like 550 quid because they're Apple. Fuck off.
Let's be honest, Apple don't do anything cheap. Right?
No, they don't. It made a real. People were making a real fuss out of it because they're calling them the AirPods Max or something. And they're not a pod, they're not a bud, they're an traditional over the ear can, and they look nice, but they start at like 550, and I was like, that's just, because that's going into the professional level of headphones, sort of 500,000 quid, for studio pro headphones. And if you're going to buy professional headphones, you're not going to buy Apple, you're going to go and get one of those, I don't know, whatever they're called, Sennheiser or something. You know what I mean? You're going to go and get a really special company, aren't you? So, or Sony, So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very fortunate. On my PC, I use Razer headphones, which run in 7.1.
Oh, really?
Really good for gaming. If you're watching films, it's really good because it gives you that illusion of hearing things go around you.
Oh,
So
really?
if you've got a helicopter flying behind you, it will sound like it's coming from up here instead of obviously here.
Oh, wow. What? So it sounds like
It's
really
really clever.
immersive, like you're really in it. Shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Really good.
Wow. Okay.
No, I bought as well, which are wireless, and they do exactly the same thing.
Oh, really? That sounds.
What's good about
Good.
them as well is there's a switch on it. So when you click the switch, it lets you listen to what's going on in the room as well. So if you see someone talking to you, you don't have to take the headphones off. You just click the switch, then you can hear everyone.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty cool.
Is that the shit? What's that called? That function? Oh my god, the noise separation they do. Active noise cancellation, isn't it? I think. Yeah.
That's one.
So you can, yes. Do you know what? I do have a pair of. What have I got? I got them free with my Galaxy S21 Ultra, the new Samsung Buds. They're Buds Pro, and they do that. And I was really freaked out at first because when you turn on the active noise cancellation, you, like you say, you do hear things that you didn't before. You know, and I was like, what the fuck is that? You know. It was really weird.
Things like hearing yourself breathe, and
yes.
then obviously people talking to you. It's like you're in a cave or something.
Exactly.
But it's really clever at the same time.
Exactly that, Lee. It is. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right, mate. I'm going to turn this off actually. Yeah, you're right. Look, it does give it a good screen, doesn't it? Look, it's all white. Yeah, there you go. That's just a Microsoft Word processor, but. Yeah, what a great screen for a 2-year-old phone. Look, just completely.
Yeah.
You know, that's the OnePlus 7T Pro. You're right. I should keep it because of that rare camera. You know, it's. I'm going to turn the phone off now. Come on, turn off. How do I turn this thing off?
The thing is,
go on.
I've never seen a feature like that before. And
No,
you
it's
said yourself,
different.
There's only one other company that's ever done it, and the longer you have it, that's going to be a selling point later on, and the price will end up going up instead of down.
Yeah, it will, because they only did it for a year, and I reckon for production reasons it was too expensive. Because they stopped it the next year, and all the OnePlus fans had a right go at them because they were like, "You've just made a bezel-less phone with a pop-up camera, which is totally unique, and now you're going back to, you know, like with the OnePlus 9 Pro, that's got a punch-out like everything else." You know, so in many ways, yeah, I totally hear what you're saying. I should keep it, shouldn't I? Because it's going to be
I think so.
in future. Yeah, an unusual rarity. Yeah. So how's your day
I mean,
been?
it's like my day's been extremely busy. Helped a friend. She's looking to lose a considerable amount of weight, similar to myself. She's got a lot of mental health issues where she's very funny about being out in public.
Really?
So things like going shopping and that, she relies heavily on her partner, which isn't always the best thing. He's someone that will provide food for her, but it's the wrong type of food.
Right.
Almost keeping himself relevant by feeding her bad food.
Really?
Instead of helping her. So she'll go, "Oh yeah, can I have a salad from the shop?" And he'll come back with like chocolate, biscuits, etc. Which it's not great.
That's interesting. That is interesting. That's do you think that's is he aware that he's doing it? Does he think he's being nice, or is he just doing it for a bit of control?
Unfortunately, he's fully aware of what he's doing, and he also knows that he's making himself relevant. I mean, without going into too much detail, it's not the best of relationships.
Right.
They don't really get on, but it's keeping him relevant.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
It's a shame. Do you know what I mean? It's someone that I've known for many years, unfortunately. And
tricky for you, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I've been in her shoes. Do you know what I mean? And I can understand some of the struggles that she has as a day-to-day. And again, she's finding it hard to relate to somebody that's been in her place and come through and come out the other side. So, you know, I said to her, I can offer advice, and I said I can even help to a degree, but I said ultimately you've got to take the ball.
Yes.
And without you taking the walk, you're not going to get to the other side.
Well said. Well said. I mean, you can be a very good friend here because you can give honest advice, and you know where you can look her dead in the eye and say, I know what this is like. I know how you're feeling right now. I know that feeling of going to the shops, walking down the road, and just feeling frankly awful about yourself because of, you know, you're not comfy in your own skin.
Yeah, for sure.
And this partner, again, without prying, without picking it apart, by the sounds of it, a little bit enabling, a little bit controlling, like you say, keeping himself relevant. And yeah, most people do know salad, chocolate bar, which one's bad. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you know what you're doing. Stop it.
Salads are awful.
Yeah.
Chocolate bar's obviously the best thing, right?
Yeah, Snickers all the way. Yeah, double Twix. Fuck that salad. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Everyone knows the answer's chocolate. It's much better. It's much better. Oh shit, I've got 25 seconds remaining. I'll kick it back on, but we'll keep talking and I'll turn it back on again.
Brilliant, that's not a problem.
No worries.
But no, ultimately, it's been a very productive day.
Good.
For me, she's actually got a lot more mental strength than I ever had
Really?
at the beginning.
Really?
But she's just got to realise her potential, I think, and then just
Right.
sort of elbow people out.
Oh, right. I'm going to come back. 2 hours, 367. Frankly, Friday. Posting that. Come on. Faster. And we're back. I'll wait for Lee to arrive. I did it as quick as I could possibly do, as I could muster. That was about a 20-second transition, I believe, for me to. Let me get this a bit better on YouTube. There he is. Let's get Lee in. Let's get Lee back on camera. Right, send me an invite, Lee. Here we go. Let's get Lee back. Let's get my mate back. Any moment now. Come on, here he is. Yay! There you go. Cool. Yeah, so that's really interesting. So, did you sort of go with her to the shops and stuff? Was that what you did? Yeah.
I said, like, I give her the choice of what time of day was good for her.
Yeah.
We planned it on being a hot day today because we've had brilliant weather, and I don't know what the weather's like for you, but in London it's been pouring
nice.
down all day.
Oh, has it?
So, yeah, we've been a total downpour today.
You're joking? Wow, no, it's been really sunny down here. It's been really sunny, yeah.
But because obviously I know what it's like to be big, I said that first thing in the morning or late in the evening is going to be the best time to go because obviously there's people, less heat, and it does make you feel body conscious, you know. Again, I've been there. So she opted for the early morning.
Right.
So I got to her for 8 this morning.
Okay.
Went down to the Old Kent roads.
Oh, really?
Done a couple of laps around the Asda, which again, she's like, do we have to do all the aisles? But I made her do every single aisle in the big Asda.
Oh, really?
Thing is, I mean, you're sneaking in step count, you know what I mean? And
Yes.
when you are of a certain size, you don't have to be running on the treadmill. Just light walking will be more than enough. Get the heart rate going and just keep her ticking over.
Yeah. No, you're right.
That's where we ended up, and it was a very productive day. I'm glad I made the time for her, and she seemed to really shine to it, and more importantly, she made some really good healthy choices going forward. So,
Brilliant. That will be interesting because do you think when she takes that food home, will her partner say to her, excellent, well done, I'm proud of you, or will he poo-poo it?
Probably the latter, but I suppose time will tell, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's a very interesting conversation because you've just jogged my memory. I had a lovely woman when I was working for Fitness First in Ipswich, in Suffolk, and she was called Susanna, and she was a really big lady, and I mean really big. And she was actually a very glamorous woman. She'd come to the gym, hair, nails, clothes, and she would always be immaculately dressed for the gym. Like the latest gear and stuff, and trainers, and a really well put together woman. But she was huge, and I remember once we started to get the weight off her body, her boyfriend didn't like it. And he actually came.
And it's generally down to control.
No.
Sadly.
It's so sad, and I never forget. I was giving a Monday night seminar on nutrition, and he actually reasonably aggressively confronted me in the reception and said, "Oh, she's changed. I preferred her." And when he went to say I preferred her, I said, "What? You preferred her big with a shorter lifespan?" Because she had diabetes and everything, and okay, I've got that now. But he actually preferred her bigger when he could control her, and as she lost the weight, she got more attractive, and he didn't like it.
And this is the thing: you find people that are unstable in their cells will try to keep somebody like your client, like my friend, a certain way.
Yeah.
For control, and it's like, you'll never leave me because I'm literally the best you're going to get. It's
Exactly.
Like, that's so shallow.
Exactly.
It's horrible.
It is. It
you know,
is.
And you should be encouraging your partner to be the best person they can possibly be.
Yes.
Not only for them, but for yourself as well. Because
Absolutely.
if you're challenging them and encouraging them and ultimately bringing them up,
the
only way for you to go as well is up, right?
Absolutely. It's a win-win. It's a win-win. Like you say, two.
I don't think so.
No, you're right, Lee. You're absolutely right. Two people overweight or one person overweight. To keep that relationship even Stevens, and just to have it, it should be mutually beneficial. And like you say, all too often, I mean, it sounds like a cliche. I can hear myself saying this, but but it is such an old story where people do this. They literally. Even with actors in Hollywood, there are numerous comedians and actors who were really big and made their career on being the fat, funny guy, and they lose weight. I mean, look at Adele. There's a prime example. Adele, I've always thought, fantastic voice, amazing voice. And personally, I've always thought Adele's a really pretty woman. She's got a lovely looking face. But her so-called fans, went mental when she lost all that weight. And were like, you should have stayed big. It's like, that's evil, man.
So, you've touched on the Adele story a few times over the course of you doing this, and I've always had an opinion on the whole Adele thing.
Go on.
For me, she can sing, and I'm not disputing this, but she doesn't have a unique sound to her voice. She sounds like a lot of similar artists of her generation.
Yep, quite generic,
For me, her selling point was her weight, which I turned around and said from day one, would she be popular if she was skinny?
Right.
And I didn't believe she would be.
Right.
I always turned around and said, she sounds like Tom, Dick and Harry. Like, yes, they're all good at singing.
Interesting.
But she's not unique.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm not going to take nothing away from her.
No.
The woman can sing. I'm not going to dispute this.
Yeah.
But her selling point, and this is what was pushed by the media at the time,
was
her size.
It was, Lee. It was. I remember when she came out as well. What was her first album called? 17. She was a 17-year-old and and she gave big girls hope because she was big. I've never thought of it that way around, actually, the way you've described it. I've always thought her journey was a big girl that's gotten thin, and people shouldn't give her stick for being lean now. But you're right, actually. That was the marketing. It was marketing a big girl.
If you look how she went, she was really big for a number of years.
Yeah, yeah, most
Then
of
she
it.
disappeared off the face of the planet.
Yeah.
And then when she come back, she
Bang.
was pining.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
never thought of it that way around. It's true. It's
She
true.
didn't document what she done.
No.
She just reappeared again, and oh yeah, by the way, I am Adele, and
Yeah.
I'm half the size I was.
Yeah.
Which fair play to her. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think she should be judged for losing weight. At the end of
No.
the day, she could be promoting that as well, saying it's not healthy to be this size. But unfortunately, we're living in an age where it's love yourself regardless. And you know what? That's a good message to send.
Yeah.
However, love yourself and give yourself the best opportunity, the best crack of life you can possibly give, because we've only got one of them.
Yes.
Make the most of it.
Yes. That's really, this is a hot topic because I've seen other live streams which there's a woman called Tessa someone, I can't think of her surname, but
Tess Holiday.
that's the one, that's it, Tess Holiday, that's it. I mean, really pretty, really
She makes
pretty.
me cringe.
But she's huge and she's pushing the whole stay big, stay fat thing, right? See, that I strongly disagree with that message because you're literally going to go heart attack, diabetes, heart attack, diabetes. That's not
So
cool.
there's a fellow I follow on social media, and I love his message. He's very blunt,
Right.
very loud, and he comes from a loving place.
Right.
But he might not always sound loving.
Oh, really?
But he's reached out to Tess Holiday to help her.
Oh,
He's
wow.
forever chasing her up. But I mean, I think it was about a month ago.
Right.
Tess Holiday was claiming that she was anorexic.
What? What?
Exactly that. Just like, I suffer with anorexia, you don't know what it's like. And it's like, come on now, like, you are taking the piss, like, you need to go back a few steps.
Yeah. What, does she think that's an eating disorder, the fact that she's the size she is?
I believe she's got an eating disorder, but it's
Yeah.
definitely not anorexia.
No, it's you eat too much here. Yeah. Holy shit. Do you know,
It's bad.
it is madly because it's whatever happened to having because it first came to my attention, it was Cosmopolitan magazine. They launched all these cover models of all these big girls, and Tessa Holiday was on there, and I thought, yeah, you've got a lovely face, but your message of saying, stay big and beautiful, don't tell me, because the medical biological facts are your heart and your kidneys and your liver and your pancreas are under much more stress than a normal person's are. That's just a fact. And I get the love yourself regardless bit, and I respect that, and that is a good message. But you shouldn't be promoting fat as being the better of the two. That's dangerous.
So again, a magazine like Cosmopolitan should
Exactly.
be promoting health and beauty.
Correct.
Not beauty at any size.
Right.
And you know what? Beauty at any size, brilliant, not an issue. But the message has to be life first. It has to be.
Yes.
And when you're bypassing that message, it's done.
Yep. And they are. And those journalists, this is what's happening. I think the journalists are more like activists now. We're seeing it in politics, we're seeing it across the media. I'm old enough to remember when articles were written in a very neutral way, like these are the facts, this is the information, and they're not putting their opinion in there. Whereas journalists are now writing things like an activist. You can tell their politics, you can tell if they're into being fat or being thin or gay rights or trans or race, black and white, BLM, whatever. And everything is going that way. The fat issue, the body issue. What about just telling the truth and the flat facts? That's gone.
And this is it. There's no more facts because people are now just forming opinions on opinions rather than finding out what the truth is.
Yeah, right.
Nobody does any digging anymore because everybody, and again, going back to what we were talking about yesterday, the technology we have has made us lazy.
Yes, it has.
You don't have to think about it anymore.
No.
Because you click on one person's video and that's it.
Yeah, headlines.
9 times out of 10, it's going to be an opinion.
Yes.
And you're you're then making an opinion of somebody else's opinion rather than going to the source.
Hey, well said, mate. Well said. Yeah, no, you're right. You're now two opinions deep, aren't you? Because it's an opinion piece. This is the thing. These articles, they are op-eds. They are opinion editorials. They're opinion pieces, politically driven, often with a very hefty left-leaning bias, you know, because they want to support Black Lives Matter or whatever. So it's not coming from a genuine place. So we've got that opinion. And like you say, we then get lazy ourselves. We look at the headline only. We don't do research. We don't dig deeper. We don't look at articles that could be related to it. We just look at the headlines and go, right, I'm going to post this on Twitter. Boom. And that's it. That's what we do.
Yeah, and it's having such a knock-on effect with society as well. I mean,
Yeah.
you think the message that is being sent on a day-to-day basis is nothing good's coming of it.
No, it's not.
And
No.
like, so say like I've got a 12-year-old daughter. Thankfully, she's quite wise to the world for ahead of her. She's well ahead of her
Over years. Good. Good.
And she will look at that and she'll laugh at it. But there's going to be a girl of her age, like 12, 13, that will look at that and go, I need to be like that. Whether it's
Right.
to say like when I was growing up in the 90s, girls wanting to be extremely thin, like the size 0. Was
Yeah, that
fashionable.
was it, wasn't it?
But
Kate
now
Moss and all
you've
that lot.
got-
Yeah, yeah.
But the generation of children coming through now is, it doesn't matter if I eat that because they're not going to like Test Holiday, for example.
Gotcha.
It's crazy.
Gotcha. I mean, both. That's a very interesting point you've raised, making the comparisons between the different decades. Like, I mean, look, hell, I'm, you know, because I'm 49, I'm a Generation X kid, so I was raised in the 80s. But I do remember the 90s very much. You know, 80s and 90s were my favourite two decades, and it was that, you know, I'm on heroin type look, you know, where every model was very skinny, you know, like everyone looked very strung out, cigarettes and booze, don't eat food, catwalk models, and that was the look, and that was being promoted. So that's unhealthy. But what is equally unhealthy, and possibly even more unhealthy, like you say, is the modern be fat, be huge, love yourself, and promote that. You know, that's the latest thing. Both are unhealthy. What about a middle
It's crazy,
ground?
though. But we don't have a middle ground with anything.
No.
Absolutely nothing in society, in health, in absolutely nothing. Is there a middle ground?
No, it doesn't sell.
No.
It's not sexy, is it, middle ground?
No. And even going back to education as well, we don't teach nutrition.
No.
We'll teach,
No.
we'll teach religion.
Yep.
We'll teach opinion.
Yep,
But we
history,
won't teach
religion.
nutrition.
It's true.
It's crazy.
It's true. That's a good point, man. I remember at school, yeah, it was called divinity or religious studies. Yeah, we had that. And yeah, English, maths and physics and chemistry and biology. But no, you know, it would have been far more beneficial to teach, you know, teach 15-year-old kids how to cook, teach them how to bake, teach them how to make a loaf of bread, teach them how to cook a roast, teach them how to skin and gut fish, or prep food. Just, yeah, it would be so beneficial to take kids, because they're coming out of school political activists. They're coming out. I'm seeing 16-year-old kids now who are the children of my peers, you know, people that I went to school with, who are Generation X people like me, that are in their late 40s like me. You know, I'm 50 next January, for God's sake. So there are people out there who have got kids 21 and above, you know, and they're my generation, these parents. And those kids are just on the cusp of, thankfully, because they might have parents my age saying, look, this is how you can prepare, learn to rent your own flat, learn to fend for yourself. But my fear is it's the younger parents, 25, 30-year-old parents now, like millennials now, who are perhaps 30, who have got kids who are, let's take a 35-year-old now. If you've got a 19 or an 18-year-old kid, that kid thinks they're going to rule the world. They're just, because it's the entitlement and the no concept of middle ground, of day-to-day living, but they've got, you know, Greta Thunberg, I'm going to save the world mentality. How dare you?
That's something else that gets me and all.
Yeah.
Like, going back to my daughter again, she sees that kid on the news, like, because obviously, like, in primary school especially, like, in the afternoon, they'll sit down and watch news round. of
Right.
tears.
Right, I
And
remember that.
those
Mm.
relevant to children.
Yep, yep.
And I sort of remember her being on telly. I went, what's this kid doing on the
Right.
telly? And like, my
Right.
daughter explained who she was and what she does. Whenever she come up on telly, my daughter go, oh, not again.
Yeah.
Like, what's she banging on about now?
Exactly.
Because what life experience does this young
None.
girl have?
None.
To have such an opinion.
Yes. That world
You know,
leaders are
it's
listening to.
Literally, she may as well just have a script in front of her, because
Correct.
that's what's happened. Going, we want you to feel and be this.
Yeah.
But that's all it is.
No, you're absolutely right.
She's got an audience for age, sex, regardless. You know what I mean? And I don't say that from a sexist place. I'd like to think I'd like to do everything equal. But why isn't there a male up there doing it?
Very true.
Because
Very true.
from a middle ground background
yep.
rather than from poverty.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? No, they've literally plucked her out of. It could have been any child.
Yes, yes.
Stuck her in front of a camera and go, the stage is yours.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think it's the worst case of adult manipulation that I've ever seen, because you've got a girl there who's clearly got some issues, you know, whether she's got Asperger's or whatever, you know, and a little bit autistic. And again, it's labeling, giving her a script, giving her a narrative from adults that do know better. You know, her latest rant I saw was, you know, her wanting to end fossil fuels and just stop all petrol, stop all oil, stop everything. It's such a grand idea. If you, I mean, again, even though we know that the coal industry and the oil industry, it's going electric and it's going cleaner, I get all that, the carbon footprint, I get all that, but you can't do it overnight. And she's literally proposing that you just stop it. People would die, people would be out of work, nations would have no light or heat or fuel or economy or housing or roads. You can't click your fingers like Thanos and make it happen. You just can't do it.
You remember probably in the late 80s, early 90s, the British Gas advert?
Yeah.
And then all the lights go on.
Yes, I do
It'd
actually.
be exactly like that.
I do.
So
I
it'll be
do.
bring it back Thanos Friday for one moment.
Yes, mate.
It'll be click, lights go out.
Oh my
And that
God.
will kill more people
Yeah.
than what coronavirus did.
Correct, mate. Absolutely.
It's crazy.
It is. No, you're right. A lot of it is scaremongery. There's a documentary called I Am Greta, and it's about Greta Thunberg. And I watched it just on, I think it's a Hulu documentary, but I've got an app on my Android where you can just see all the latest movies, you know, for free. And it's a really good documentary, but it just shows her parents steering her. You know, she's a typical kind of like IKEA kid, if you like, you know, that sort of whole Norwegian, Swedish thing, which I get, but she's got all of her thoughts came from watching videos at school about polar bears being stranded on ice, right? So the global warming narrative was being drip fed into that little girl's mind from literally being an 8-year-old onwards. And then we see Greta Thunberg when she's 15, 16, this warrior, this eco warrior, teaching the adults how to run their countries. Come on, it's embarrassing.
It really is.
It is, man.
They're going to push it.
They are. They push that agenda. And the documentary exposes all the school children. Again, they're all getting woke. Like we had Extinction Rebellion. Remember that shit? Where Extinction Rebellion for Corona? Where's Extinction Rebellion in the streets of London during COVID? I thought they had a message to give, right? They're just gone, mate. They're rich kids, middle class, rich, woke kids going to nice, posh universities. Again, it's the people. Like, I mean, I wonder how you like think of the black people you know, right? The black people I know aren't into Black Lives Matter. They're not. They're like my black American friends. They're not into it. They're not interested. They're more angry at the white idiots pushing it, pretending to be black. I'm sick of white people trying to be black.
Again, it's something that I get really pissed off with because, again, I don't think as society we're racist. Obviously, there are going to be racist people out there, but let's have it right, yeah? Prejudice is prejudice. It doesn't matter whether it's race, colour, sex, etc. etc.
size, anything.
There's no
Yeah, yeah.
discrimination. Everybody is a target in that respect, yeah. But I believe the people running the country are so outdated.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, yeah.
That's where the problem lies.
It is truly corrupt, truly outdated, and so socially unaware. You know, I don't care how funny Boris might be, but he's not in touch with, you know, your. Can you imagine Boris trying to get through your day, or Boris trying to get through my day? He'd just crumble, mate. You know, go on, Boris, go to the shops and just. Hey.
That truth is, though, he's probably more in touch than a lot more people that have come before him.
Oh, true. No. I agree with that. I agree with that. Yeah, I do actually. Yeah, he's probably the least
that doesn't make me
offensive.
a Boris fan by any means, but it's. I mean, what was the fella that was going up against him for Labour and then he's not with them anymore?
Oh,
I can't think of his name.
Jeremy Corbyn.
Corbyn.
Yeah, Corbyn. Yeah.
That dude. I mean, you talk about out of touch, Hogan.
Yes.
Just no.
Yes.
He would have
Massively
been out
so.
of touch in the 1800s.
Yeah. Yeah. During the signing of the Magna Carta. Yeah. He was. Again, I've mentioned this a few months ago. I remember Jeremy Corbyn coming on during their political campaign and announcing his pronouns. You know, he said, "I identify as he, him." You know, like, I'm a male. I was like, "Oh my God!" You know, what woke campaign manager, 21-year-old, advised you? Now I'm being ageist, aren't I? But you know, what young kid advised you old grey-haired man, that you're going to come on camera and announce your pronouns? Again, it's woke culture has run amok.
I mean, clearly I'm female with a hormone problem. But I mean,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is
ridiculous.
it. I know, mate. I know. It's but it's everywhere. Do you think we're in danger, Lee, of becoming like a finger-pointing society? Do you know what I mean by that? Where people waggle their finger and say, "Oh, Lee, don't do that, don't do this." It's almost like tonight I went to Lidl to get my food, and for about the last 5 minutes of my shop, my little mask that I wore, because I just didn't want to get the stick for going, you know, because everyone's wearing a mask. It started to slip down a little bit, so I just wore it like a little neckerchief, you know, like a little scarf. And immediately, like literally, I was leaving the door, Lee. I was leaving the shop. One of the workers said, "Sir, your mask." And I went, "I'm going, mate. I'm on my way out." You know, so just for the last 10 foot of me leaving the shop with my hands full with 2 bags, as the mask went from here to sort of there, like that, he had a go at me. And I thought, that's the problem, that you had to empower yourself, mate, and have a go at me and say, he went, sir, your mask. And I went, yeah, hands are full. And I kept walking. I just went, hands are full, kept walking.
The funny thing is, you're probably in that position where you probably don't even have to wear masks.
I know, I'm actually exempt. I am exempt, yeah, I am, yeah.
That's what I mean, and yet people still jobs worth to go, "Excuse me, sir, what are you doing?"
Exactly.
But, and again, going back to government and how they like to push, well, let's face it, hot air.
Yes.
I'm trying to be polite because it's your spring, so I'm trying to be polite. They are.
You can say pushing bollocks. You can say that, yeah, pushing bollocks, yeah.
Last summer, we was all locked up in our houses. We didn't know up from down, left from right.
True.
We spent the summer bashing on saucepans for the NHS.
That's true.
Yeah?
That's true. Yeah.
Roll on 1 year. Oh yes. On the telly, we got adverts that going, "You can be outside in groups of 6, and don't worry, the wind will blow coronavirus away. It's wonderful." So what the hell are we wearing masks for?
Don't. Do you know, I can't think of another time in our lives where we've had so much tune changing, you know, where they've changed their tune. You know how into my American politics I am. You know, Dr. Anthony Fauci, you know, the World Health Organization, wear a mask, don't wear a mask, wear a mask, don't wear a mask. Make your mind up, mate. You know, again, what they are telling us to do is always changing.
Yeah, and everybody, especially early doors, was So what's the law at the moment? Like, what's the rules? Well, how are we meant to be living? Are we allowed to go out? Are we not allowed to go out?
Correct.
Wear masks, don't wear masks. And I got to a point where I said to people, I said, listen, I'm going to do me.
Yep.
If you want a cup of tea, my door's open. If you want to follow your rules, you tell me what your rules are, and I'll respect them. But I'm going to do me.
Yeah.
Yeah. My partner's worked all through the pandemic. She works with children.
Really.
Yeah. And she comes home, no word of a lie, with probably 21 variants of snot a week from 21 different children.
Wow.
We've not had corona.
No.
Yeah. We live in South East London, as you know.
Yep.
She works in a nursery in Catford.
Right.
You're telling me them 21 families are also not breaking the rules or not mixing with other people?
Of course, yeah.
And then the spiral then goes further and further and further afield.
Yep.
Yeah? 21 becomes 42,
Sure.
etc., etc.,
Sure.
etc. And it is as simple math as that. If it was as serious as was led to believe,
Yes.
our household would have had it.
Right. No,
You know?
you're absolutely right. Again, you don't need to be a virologist, immunologist, biologist, a rocket scientist to work this out. As you've just said, 20 people, 40 people. So the growth. If it was as infectious as they claim, it would have literally done like a bubonic plague and just eaten us like the Spanish flu at least.
Yep.
And again, I mean, look, Lee, the one thing that's done my head in the last week or two is the conversation. So last summer, 2020, if I said, Lee, this was leaked from the Wuhan lab, you're like, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist, right? But now they're actually admitting it. They're saying as much. This leaked out of the lab. This wasn't a naturally occurring virus from a pangolin, bat, fucking monkey, snake, whatever. This is something that came from the lab. And now, so again, the narrative is changing. The conversation is changing. Flip-flopping, all the time, flip-flopping.
Yeah, and it's any wonder that people can't keep up with it.
Right, yeah, how can you with that agenda, with that storytelling? And
agenda is exactly what it is. They are pushing their agenda. It isn't trying to keep us safe, because keep us safe from what? A cold.
Right, exactly.
And I don't mean that lightly, because I know there's people that died from it.
Sure.
But people do die from the cold, people do die from flu.
Yep.
And it is the people we've been trying to protect the vulnerable.
Yes.
But doing so, we've got people that have lost education,
Yep.
have lost loved ones without even being able to be by their side.
Yes. Very, very sad.
We've paid such a big price for keeping the vulnerable safe.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, the majority of the time when I see people like not wearing masks early doors and breaking certain rules, will be the older generation.
Yeah,
will
absolutely.
be the vulnerable.
Yeah.
I mean, the funniest thing I see is when you see face masks down where you said, but by the neck,
Yep.
and they'll be of a certain age,
Yep.
and they'll be just tugging away on cigarettes. You're like, that's like, what are you doing? You're meant to be vulnerable. Like.
It's true. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. I was asking my brother about this, because of his job with the police, and I just thought, there's such hypocrisy and there's such flagrant abuse and misuse and lack of understanding, and a lot of it is hypocrisy. People are very, very hypocritical. As you say, it'll be finger pointing, finger waggling, but they're having a fag. The classic for me is when I've actually got photographs of this. When I left the dialysis unit, at King's and Guy's back in the day, I would see people on the kidney transplant list that I was on having a fag outside, whilst they're waiting for their kidney to come through. And I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Just there's a lot of that. I'm never less than amazed when I see, as you say, it almost makes people feel powerful when they're allowed to say, Lee, where's your mask? Or Justin, where's your mask? It gives them a bit of power, like a bit of social clout. Do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. It'll be the same people behind their keyboards banging away and slagging people off.
There you go.
Do you know what I mean?
There you go.
Like,
Same
but
type.
as soon as there's confrontation, they'll
Go on.
be screaming all sorts.
Go on. Yeah, they call police. Defund the police, but we'll call police. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's
It's crazy.
It's so, you see, this particular area, like you say, with keyboard warriors, with people generally screaming and shouting online, that's one negative aspect of the technology that I don't like. You know, like I love my phones, you know, I love the tech, it's, you know, something I'm very passionate about, but I purposely, I don't know, whether it's Reddit or whether it's certain social forums, if I go too hard into Twitter, it gets very toxic, it gets very spiteful, and there's just so much hate, Lee.
But again, I don't necessarily think that's the technology or the internet, and I'm probably a bit biased defending this, but I think it's more of a tool of us showing what true human race is.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Human race hasn't changed. Like,
No.
everybody goes, oh, knife crime at the moment is so bad.
No.
Is it so bad, or is it just more documented?
Right,
and
more
easier
reporting.
To be, it's more accessible.
Right.
The story is going to be more accessible.
Yep.
Yeah. You don't, but people never push the positive of what it offers. Even though you see positives every day, child's gone missing. Share this post. Brilliant. You know what? It beats the milk bottles.
Yeah.
Or milk cartons. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
That child, 9 times out of 10, do get found within the first 24 hours because of how fast it spreads.
Yes.
Yeah? But we won't talk about that. We'll talk about the knife crime.
Right.
There was still knife crime when I was a kid. Before the internet, there was going to be knife crime before you was a kid. Same in America now. Gun crime. We hear about it every single day.
Yes.
It's not changed.
No.
It's not changed through my lifetime.
No. You make a powerful point. Powerful point, Lee, because you're right. You know, listening to what you've just said, that's a very powerful point, because you can't say that, you know, these modern devices have altered people's behaviour. So because of the invention of the smartphone, that knife crime or rape crime has actually increased. No, it's highly likely that those figures haven't increased, but we hear about it more because it's talked about, it's reported and spread around more and sensationalised more.
I think in some generations, so like to say when children see it and they see children doing things like that, I think there is a little bit of truth of, well, they've done it, I'm going to do it because that's what I feel like doing.
Right.
Or, well, that's cool, so I'm going to have a bash at that. And there is that to it, but obviously we hit a certain age and you know right from wrong.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you get to a point in life where you go, that's not really something I should be doing anymore because I've got responsibilities.
Yeah, man.
Would I want my kids seeing me do that? Would I want my kids doing that?
Correct.
So you look at things with a more, well, parental head, if you like.
Yes.
That's regardless of whether you have children or not, because even people that don't have children, you're going to know people with young children that you're going to be fond of, for example, and see them as a extension of your family.
Gotcha. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And, you know, so you will develop that wise head still, even if you've not walked in them sort of shoes before. I just don't understand the need to go always technology.
Right.
When I was younger, it was the video games and the music.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yes.
It's so easy to pass the buck to whatever is the trend at the moment.
So true. Actually, Lee, again, that's a very, very good point. I'd forgotten that. It was the music, you know, heavy metal made you into a mass murderer. Grand Theft Auto.
And then rap.
Yeah, exactly. Rap. God, you were right. I remember in the 90s, gangster rap music, hip hop or metal or Nirvana made you a lunatic. No, it didn't. You know, because I was skateboarding during that music and I was completely peaceful. And yeah, you're right. It's always the scapegoat of the technology, the music, like I said, the rap, it's looking for anything other than good old-fashioned human behaviour. The fact that we humans are very flawed And I mean, if you'd known me in my 20s, you would be saying to me on a weekly basis, Justin, you're a bit of a twat. Do you know what I mean? Because I was just doing things that were daft. Do you know what I mean? I was just daft, mate. I was daft. And I think a lot of it is, like I say, it's scapegoat. Yeah, it is. It's using social media and blaming the tech. Meanwhile, I know that people in need of a kidney transplant do better now because of social media. That the transplant waiting list has improved because of social media campaigns, etc.
We don't hear about it.
No, you don't. No, it's not sensational enough. It's not bad publicity, is it? It's too positive. It's too healthy. Yeah.
And it doesn't send the narrative they want being sent.
Correct. And that narrative is very destructive. That narrative is, it's bad news. They actually promote globally bad news.
Of course.
Yeah.
When was the last time you put the telly on, like morning television on, click, and you go, oh look, they're all happy talking about nice things.
Correct. When are the headlines like that? It doesn't. No, you're absolutely right. There's no. It's a shooting. It's a mass murderer. It's a disaster. You're right. All the time, those are the headlines.
I think the three top topics are always going to be sex, scandal, and disaster.
Yes, mate. Yes. You know.
And if it ain't that, it's not interesting.
No, you're right.
Allegedly.
Totally. I mean, that was the old media, legacy media was their expression. If it bleeds, it leads. And that was the thing. It's a lot of the English and American media. Look at. I was watching a documentary the other day on Princess Diana. I mean, I remember that in August '97 because I was living in Chiswick in London at the time. Waking up, it was a Saturday night / Sunday morning, early hours, and that announcement, Princess Diana is dead. And again, look at the journalists then, look at the frenzy, the media frenzy. It's almost as if their entire fuel, their entire oxygen, the media is bad news. COVID, sex, disaster, scandal, all of it, bad news. That's all they want. That's all they want.
Yeah, I mean, they hit the royal flush with that story, right?
Yeah.
That had everything.
Yeah.
No?
Definitely.
It's just poor kids have lost their mum.
I know.
Poor woman's lost her. Well, not even just a poor woman. There were several people that lost their life, and all they was interested was, scandal.
Yeah.
They wasn't interested in the cold facts of what's happened, which we all knew what happened, and they couldn't report any more than that. But they didn't stop them.
No, you're right.
Didn't stop them at all.
No. I got to ask how much has actually changed in the last 2 decades, really, with the constantly seeking sensationalist reporting, and whatever topic is in the pipeline, in that very cyclical news cycle, it's a regurgitation, isn't it? It's like they're literally vomiting the same headlines, but just different topics. So the narrative is, as you say, negative, disaster, sex, scandal, murder mystery, all that, whatever. But it's just different topics, knife crime or COVID or, remember the Brexit thing? Where's that gone? Where's Brexit gone? Well, that headline is replaced with COVID,
That's gone down in history now. That's been and done.
Isn't it? Yeah, isn't it though? Do you remember 3 years ago, Lee? I remember going to Metroflex, and all I would hear on the news at Metroflex was Brexit. I remember watching Dougie teach clients, and all the conversation was Brexit. The EU. That was it, mate. That was all anyone spoke about. And then along came COVID.
I tell you what, that's probably one positive thing to come out of COVID. Was the fact that it just put Brexit on the back burner completely, and it's never going to be able to get that flame back.
Correct.
To the point where people care enough where they're just going to butt heads constantly.
Yeah. It's just killed it, didn't it? Just killed it.
Yeah, just killed it in its tracks.
But
it's like, it's been and gone now, so
I know.
Just sort of roll with it.
But we did leave the EU. That's the thing. The undeniable facts are we did leave, and that hasn't altered. That hasn't changed. And whatever our motivation for leaving the EU, whether you're a fan of it or not, whether you agree with staying in the EU or leaving the EU, you know, that's unchanged. But again, it's the reporting that's gone, it's the headlines that have gone. And in its place comes COVID.
And the only people that it's really affected is people with money.
Yeah, true.
Not made a joke to yourself, it's not made a joke to me and my family, it's what it is. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think I'm going to notice it yet. Apparently it was going to really hurt everybody's pocket.
Yeah.
It was going to take a good decade to sort of get back into a strong position.
No more medicine, no more prescriptions, no more insulin, all gone apparently. Really?
Yeah, we're all queuing up for this jab that was miraculously come out of nowhere within a month.
I know. Do you know that I saw on that note, I saw a wonderful post the other day. I took a screenshot, I'll send it to you. They still haven't found a vaccine for HIV and AIDS. They still haven't cured cancer, etc. So I mean, HIV and AIDS came out in 1984, and there's still no vaccine for HIV and AIDS. Yet they find a vaccine for COVID inside a year. Really? How's that done? You know, it's just like, what? Again, what do you believe?
Technically, it's not done. We're just all test dummies.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, we are. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I spoke on here, obviously, I think it was last week or whenever I had my first injection,
Yeah.
that I was put in a place of a lose-lose situation.
Sure.
In an ideal world, if I wasn't reliant on certain NHS services, I don't think I would have had mine done yet.
Yeah.
You know? If I rushed into it and was like in the queue to try and get it done, the chances are I'd have got the one that was now being phased out already.
That's
due
right.
to blood clots, right?
AstraZeneca, yeah, that's the one that's going, yeah.
Yeah, so what else are they going to find later on down the line?
You know,
Because back in the day, cigarettes used to be prescribed to children.
yes. And, you know, you can find on YouTube 1950s and wartime cigarette campaigns literally instructing you to say, do smoke, it's healthy for you. I'm like, what? You know, so yeah, again, it's just that oh my God, when you think about it like that, you know, what if in 2 years' time they look at this vaccine again? And again, I'm not an anti-vaxxer, but I've had to exercise caution. I've had to listen to my doctors, and my doctors have just said, look, even though I was first in line for it, I've not had it, because they said, look, just hold fire for 6-12 months, wait and see how other people are doing in your position. So, you know, and I've done all right so far escaping it, but yeah, I'm just exercising caution, listening to my doctors in London, but it's, as you say, Lee, it is very experimental. It really is, you know?
Yeah. And I don't think it's going to be life-threatening experimental. I hope not, because I've had the first bit done already. So, you know, I quite like the idea of living.
Yeah, fingers crossed, that'll be all right, yeah.
What's it actually protecting us from?
Well, that's the crazy thing, because you're supposed to still wear your mask, aren't you, and still do all the things you were doing. This is what doesn't add up in my head. You know, it's like I said to my brother, because he had it done obviously for work, you know, and another friend of mine called Steve in Essex, he recently had it done last week, and he said to me that he was looking at the syringe and they literally didn't have anything in it. And again, I don't want to sound like a, you know, like a nut job, but it does. I don't know. It makes you wonder. I mean, did you feel anything? Did you feel dodgy at all after it, or were you okay?
So I felt fine for the first probably 15 to 24 hours.
Okay.
And then I felt fatigued for about 5 or 6 days. I did feel really rough.
Interesting. Okay.
Exactly
my brother said that.
I had it done on the Thursday.
Yeah.
So I remember training with Dougie on the Thursday morning. On the Thursday afternoon, I had the injection.
Okay.
I wasn't physically myself until the following Thursday.
Really?
It really knocked me for 6. Not in terms of feeling like ill or temperature or anything like that.
Right.
I just felt so drained. Like, it's like someone just pulled the batteries out of the back of me and just went, yeah, you need the rest, mate.
Really? So you just felt completely lethargic, yeah?
Yep.
Jesus.
That's why I went about on the stream. Like, I see your stream come on. I just didn't have the energy to press the button, and I was just out of it.
Wow.
I think I remember I slept for 18 hours.
Wow.
When I first started feeling rough.
Yeah.
I think I woke up for a bite to eat and then was asleep again for another 10.
Wow. Wow.
I've never slept like that in my life. And I still felt raped afterwards. I just sort of built it back up again.
You see that? I mean, I'm glad you're okay now, but I mean, isn't that interesting? What does it mean? What's in it? And of course, none of us are medically qualified to know exactly what was in that shot. And are they? Oh, I don't know, mate. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? It makes you wonder. God, dear.
I mean, there's definitely something in it. I mean, I had a bit of a sore arm the next day.
Right.
But I mean, I remember walking in there, and like you've got to. Where I was, I had to go and have it done in Downham.
Right. Okay.
So you walk into like the community centre, and they send you down to one side of the building.
Right.
You fill out a form. They send you to another side of the building to wait. You then answer some more questions. Then they send you over to this like, remember like the old PE benches?
Yes. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah. So like there's like a queue of us all sitting on one of them, like all wearing masks.
Crazy.
You alright, mate?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I'm alright.
Yeah. All right, stranger. Yeah.
So what are you here for then?
Don't know.
And then like, you get called up and there's like, oh God, it's my turn.
Oh my
I'm
God.
knowing you.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
trundle off over there.
Impending
And this
doom.
nurse goes, are you scared? I'm like,
What?
not really. I'm like, should I be?
No.
Like,
Yeah.
oh no. Just we do have some people that are a bit nervous. Like, you right with needles? I was like, well, I hope so. I said I get an injection every 3 months.
Right.
Oh, okay. Well, it's going to sting a little. I was like, well, it's a needle entering my body. I'd be shocked if it didn't.
Yeah.
As you went, bosh. Right, we want you to go sit over there for 15 minutes in case there's any
adverse
feeling
reaction?
or anything
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, seriously? I just want to go home.
Jeez.
Anyway, I go sit over in the waiting area that used to be a cafeteria.
Right.
And they're just like, they give you a sticker,
Yeah.
they give you a badge to say, well done, you've had a COVID injection.
Oh, really?
They give you a card to say I'm like partially vaccinated with a date on it.
Wow.
Like, come on.
Wow. Oh my
Like,
God.
they spent more money in gifts than they did in anything else. It's ridiculous. It's insulting.
Oh, that's so
I said
funny.
to her, I said,
That's so
any
funny.
chance of a lollipop instead?
Yeah.
Because,
Oh my
This
God.
is stupid.
Jeez. It's something. Do you know? It's so much of this is like a movie script. It really. That story you've just shared. I mean, it's funny because it's mad. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
it's
just.
bonkers.
It is. God, dear. I know at some stage I've got to do it. Because where it's just.
You just want the badge.
Yeah, that's all I want. I want a lollipop and a badge saying I've been done. Oh my God. I mean, the latest headline I read on just scrolling through Google News yesterday was apparently there's a US politician called Rand Paul who is going after Dr. Fauci now because they've got all his emails, and all his emails are between him and the Wuhan Institute of Virology about how it was, formed from basically humans making a virus in that Wuhan lab, because no one's really pushed. You'd expect the government, our government or the American government, to say, actually, we need to find out where this really came from, and let's at least find the source. And it's getting a bit inconvenient there, isn't it? It's like, hang on, what if it has been made by humans in a lab?
What happened to COVID-18?
Yes, exactly. Yes, yeah.
I've never heard of it before that.
And 17, exactly, because there's apparently a COVID or coronavirus every year, so they say. So what about all the other years? Yeah. What's that about?
But it's like, we got to COVID-19, and then we started getting the hemp variant, the Indian variant,
Yeah.
the Martian variant.
Yeah,
It's getting
exactly,
ridiculous
exactly,
now.
mate.
But
Yeah.
surely that would have been 20, 21 and 22, right?
Mm-hmm. You'd think.
They've lost me, I tell you.
And I think that, I tell you what, Lee, I think that's part of the intention, is that we are all of us are, you can't say there's a shortage of news. All of us are taken up with what's the news or what are the headlines, because there's just constant pumping of either, whether it's information or misinformation, take your pick. And meanwhile, you can have your truth. You know, if you say 2 and 2 is 5, not 4, then you're allowed to have your own truth now. So if we're not careful, we will reach a point in the not too distant future where I could be like, Lee, I'm a tree, okay? I'm a tree, and you've got to call me Justin Tree, and that's it. There you go, because that's my truth. And you'll be like, okay, mate.
That's brilliant.
That's the way.
Justin TrueHouse.
Justin TrueHouse. There you go, Justin TrueHouse. That would work a treat. That would work a treat. I don't know, mate. It's just, how old are your kids now? So what have you got? Because I'm just thinking of their future as well.
So my daughter, who's my oldest, she's 12.
Right.
Turns 13 in November.
Okay.
My son, he turned 8 in March. His birthday is the first day of lockdown.
Oh, really?
Yeah, March 21st.
Of course, yeah, of course. It was, wasn't it? It was, yeah. Now, are they asking you questions?
That's a bit rough.
Do they come to you? Because that's an inquisitive age, isn't it? You know, 8, 30, you know, getting on. Are they sort of saying, Daddy, what about, you know, what are they hearing with their friends at school and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how other households do it, but we run quite a honest and open household. If there's something that's going to affect us as a family, we'll sit down and talk about it as a family.
Good, mate. Nice. Nice.
We try to encourage them to speak their minds and to express their opinions.
Nice.
That doesn't mean they're going to get their way, but it's nice to know where their heads are at.
Yes.
So decisions made by the parents, like me and my partner, are formed in the correct way that's going to be just for everybody, you know?
Okay, yeah.
So, yeah, as soon as this happened, we wanted to make sure, one, they wasn't scared. 2, they understood why they was going to be isolated from people.
Right.
And, I mean, day 1, we was extremely overcautious, like so many were.
Everyone was, myself included.
It just happened. I wouldn't let nobody else out of the house. If anyone was going to be doing runs for food, it was going to be me.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I'm very old-fashioned like that. If there's trouble at the door, only I'm dealing with it.
Okay.
I don't expect my kids or my partner to be out there.
No, that's nice.
I'm the man of the house. That's my job.
As it should
And
be.
my job is sole protector.
Yeah.
You know?
That's good, mate. That's good. I like it.
I appreciate that we do live in a very multicultural and open-minded society, and women are as equal to men. That's fine, but I want to be there to protect my loved ones.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how it's going to be.
I like it.
So I was. Do you remember me having that picture with like my biker mask on?
Yes.
With a visor.
Yes, I do.
Right.
I do. Yeah.
So I bought that because I remember like someone that I knew turned around and said that you had people in the street going around gobbling on one another, thinking it was funny. And this was early doors lockdown, and you're like, you're a scumbag, mate.
Yeah.
Like, you do not know what's going to happen.
That's horrible.
For all we know, in a week's time, we could be stacking up bodies.
Yeah.
We don't know this.
No, that's bad.
Yeah?
That's bad.
Until we know what's going on. I mean, obviously, we're all in a place now where we're going, we're not stacking up bodies.
No.
We're not going to be stacking up bodies. We didn't even use them extra hospitals that we built. So we're not stacking up bodies. There's no way. Right? Unless obviously the vaccine goes tits up, then we might be stacking up bodies. But that's indirectly COVID, right? So that's just another thing.
Yeah.
But I remember going out every single morning at 5:30 to go to the local Tesco Express with the garages, because they all open at 6 on the dot.
Right.
And I would get the suppliers worth of food for 3 or 4 days of fresh fruit, fresh veg, milk, and meat.
Yeah.
And I would do that every probably 3 days.
Okay.
You know, so we had fresh of everything, but it was enough just to see us for 3 days.
Yes.
So therefore, everybody else had a free crack at it. I wasn't trying to overstock or take the piss because it's not necessary. I wasn't trying to panic, but at the same time, I'm not trying to make sure that my family have got extra, well, not
Yes.
extra, but have the essentials.
Yeah.
And there was a few other people that was unable to get out that I would shop for as well.
Nice. So you sounds like you morally were doing a great thing there. That's as you say, you're not doing anything ridiculous, but you're covering all your bases by the sounds of it. Just being very responsible. Yeah. Good for you.
The thing is, the way I saw it was, it could have been say if it was how they said it was, a pandemic, it would have been a huge change in the world.
Yes. Yeah.
Huge change.
Yeah.
You know, society and government, how we know it, would cease to exist.
Yeah,
and it would have been a dog-eat-dog world, and I was very community-driven, because that's all you would have, is community.
Yeah. Be like Mad Max, mate. Yeah, it would have been a very dystopian future. It's true. It was the initial. I remember feeling a similar thing. Just again, it was the panic buying of toilet roll and quick stock up on. What was that about?
I don't know. It's like everyone's going mental for toilet roll. It's like, come on now. Worst case scenario, we've got bathrooms.
Right.
Clean.
Exactly.
You've got cultures that literally have an upside down sink to wash them.
Yeah.
It's
true though, isn't it? It's true.
You really need that. You're going to sit there and have a diet of bog roll.
I know. No, you're right. It was just, God, I can't believe. But again, the initial reaction was pretty heavy, mate. I remember I had a local friend here that was bringing me round some food, and we'd be in my car park here, sort of 12 to 16 feet apart. No handshakes, no high fives, nothing. It's like there's the food on the doorstep, and it's like out of a movie. It was really just, but because of the media, because of what we were told. Be careful, keep the distance.
By the time the first lockdown hit, I had my operation October 2019, and obviously by March 2020, we was under lockdown. So I was only 5-6 months out of my op.
Right.
I was struggling to eat certain foods, and the only thing I could really keep down and give myself any energy with was like the Ritz biscuits.
Yep.
That's all I could live on.
Wow.
But I couldn't get them because every bastard had pulled them. Literally, I had nothing that I could eat and keep down for a good week.
After that operation. Oh, I've got 2 seconds. Yeah. I'll come back. TrueHouse 367 Part 2. Come on. Part 2. And there, and we're back. Live. I'm not going to do too much longer. I'm going to try and get Lee back on the camera, and I'm going to wrap this up because we are 2 hours into this, so quite a decent length stream tonight. Let's get Lee here. Let's get Lee back on camera. Where's Mr. Spruceson? Here he comes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Should be appearing any time now. Here he is. There he is. Yeah, that's 2 hours. My gosh, you're back.
Goes a lot faster, doesn't it?
It does. Once we start nattering, mate. Once we start talking, because I've got the timer here on YouTube. That's 119 minutes. So yeah, in 1 minute that'll be 2 hours already. So no, it's crazy. Gosh, look. Do you know what I got tonight? I got 2 loaves of tiger bread. Have you ever tried that?
Yeah, it's
lovely.
something I have had before. I used to enjoy my bread as well.
Yeah.
I've had the tiger loaf before.
Tiger loaf. I literally tear off a bit, stick it in the microwave, and just like the warm bread with a bit of whatever, butter or tuna or anything, or peanut butter. It's lovely. Yeah, it's lovely. So I'm going to have a little bit of that. Just, some carbs before I go to bed. Why not? Why not? That's sensible, Justin. That'll do you good. Look, Lee, thank you again for talking to me. Thank you, seriously.
Very welcome. It's been a blast.
Oh, do you know, I absolutely love talking to you. I really do. I do. I get a huge, I get a huge kick out of chatting to you, and the subjects we cover, and also, it's just very interesting talking to you because the amount of topics that we align up on. It's very interesting. Very interesting. Whether we're talking about the past or the future or society or politics or tech or COVID or Brexit, it's like, we're very aligned on a lot of topics, and I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that. Yes.
It's nice to get a slightly different perspective sometimes as well and go, I never thought about it like that.
Well,
that's always nice.
The Adele thing, the Adele is the one thing, absolutely, until you said what you said about how that's how she was given to us, big Adele, I thought, shit, I didn't think of it like that. All I saw was big girl gets small, fans attack her. But yeah, when you said, hang on a minute, that's how she was presented. She was presented as that's her image. And also, you're right about the voice. Although it's a very good voice, it's not an unusual voice, is it? It's quite
No, not at all.
quite generic. It's quite.
I remember my missus getting really upset with me when I said that.
How dare you? How dare you?
I've been saying it ever since I heard her. Ever since I heard that voice and I saw her and I see how she was being pushed.
Right.
I went, if she was just a voice on the radio, she may get a few people that like her,
Sure.
but she wouldn't be blown up the way she did.
True. It's true though, mate. It's true. Because there are a lot of girls. I remember like Jessie J. I was a big Jessie J fan. But again, there was a certain way of singing, a certain way. And a lot of those girls, like Adele, like Jessie J, all went to the Brit School in Croydon. That's where a lot of them went. They went to the Brit School and they did their training there. Katie, is it Katie B, Jessie J, Adele? Certainly three of them. And it's just, I find it, you're right, there's a particular style of singing, where those big notes, just interesting the way you said it. I hadn't thought of it. That way. And that Tessa, is it Holiday? Tessa Halliday, that, again, Tess Holiday, what a message, what a crazy message to give to young girls, man.
Well, I just hope she battles her anorexia to the best of her ability.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah, you can tell. Terrible anorexia. Terrible. Yeah. Holy shit. All right, brother.
If you get the opportunity to, look up a fella on Instagram, he's on Twitter, he's on Facebook, he's on everything, called Every Damn Day Fitness.
Every Damn Day Fitness. Right.
Yeah,
I
think you'll enjoy his content. I really do.
Every Damn Day Fitness.
I'll send you a link over and I'll share like his main page on Instagram and have a click about. I think you'll enjoy his content. He's
Alan Roberts, is that the guy?
That's the fella.
That's the guy.
Yeah.
Here he is.
Really, really good guy. He's battling everyday trolls on the internet, one troll at a time. He's a good guy.
Wow. No, I like the look of this. Yeah, nothing runs in your family. That's the problem. Type 2 diabetes. Alan Roberts, 10,000 views 8 hours ago. Wow. Okay, I'm going to check this out. Wow. Okay.
Really good guy.
All right.
Really good guy. And he interacts with people as well. I've actually spoken to him.
Nice.
Similar to how I speak to you, like on the text thing, and he does generally respond to you as well. Really good guy.
Wow, that's impressive. Because he's got 248,000 subscribers. Wow, 250,000 subscribers. Yeah, that's impressive. Okay, I'll check it out. All right, brother, I'm going to go eat some food. Thank you again for talking.
You enjoy it?
All right.
Anytime.
Until next time. All right, brother, take care. Cheers, Lee. See you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks, bye. Oh, that was awesome. Okay. I'm going to say goodnight to YouTube. I'll see you guys in a day or two. certainly back for Mental Monday. Okay, see you soon. Cheers.